Hello, good morning. Welcome to the 79th edition of the Locarno Film Festival, the first day of the international competition, the Concorso internazionale, and the press conference of the film Rehmat, the fifth feature film by Gurvinder Singh. The film is an Indian-French co-production, and together with me and Gurvinder Singh, we have the actors of the film, Harwinder Aujla in the role of Balwinder, Diya Kamboj in the role of Seema, Navjot Randhawa in the role of Kiran. Together with us are also the French co-producers of the film, Naseeruddin Shah and Andrei Cosmin Iles. So thank you for coming to Locarno and world premiering your film here. So I would start this press conference by asking Gurvinder about the film's title, Rehmat. What is the meaning of this title?
Rahmat is actually a word which travels from the Middle East to northern part of India, where I belong, in Punjab. So it's Rahmat means compassion. It means forgiveness. It could also mean grace. I mean, you can loosely interpret Rahmat. It could mean being lenient, being gentle, being soft. It could also mean being trustworthy. So it's for us, it's like it means we widely use it, and the original the word is in Arabic. So so it's in Arabic, it's in Persian, it's in Urdu, it's in Punjabi, it's used in Hindi also. So and the film is about actually when I was making the film, I didn't have a title. When I was shooting the film, I had a working title which was different, but while shooting, somehow I would always think what is the film about, what is coming together, what I am trying to achieve, and then I realized that it's basically about compassion and that's it, and it just so happened that there's a song in the film, there's a devotional song in the film which a group of women sing, and I didn't know what they were going to sing, and they sing about Rahmat. So, so this universe has this strange way of conspiring to, reveal things to you, to give you answers to the questions which you are seeking. And I think that's how so it was just a strange coincidence, that these women sang about Rehmat. And I said, yes, that's the day I got my title.
Great, thank you. But the film is an adaptation of different short stories by Punjabi writer Ajeet Cour. So I wanted to ask you, how did you approach this adaptation of her stories into a film, and this structure that the film has of being divided in these three parts?
Yeah, so it is loosely. It's not a very strict adaptation of the stories. It's a kind of you could say the inspiration comes from there, but they have been contextualized to present a kind of a different setting than you actually see in the film. So you could say the theme is coming from the stories, but they have been reinterpreted, reimagined, and made contemporary. Because I had a full freedom to choose the kind of stories I wanted to, and present it the way I want. And I also like this idea of from moving from one set of characters into another set of characters, but without losing the thread of why you have moved and where you are going. And so I tried to kind of find a cohesive interplay between the stories through characters and at what stage who appears in the film. And and also I like the fact that it leads to a sort of a non-linearity, which is not just about a set of characters whom you see from the beginning to the end. So it's not a film told from the perspective of one or two characters, which most conventional cinema is. Somehow, I've always loved non-linearity since the days I was at the film school. And I think there are different ways of achieving non-linearity. And perhaps what I'm trying to do with this film is one way of doing it.
Thank you. I remind you that whenever you want to ask some questions, we have microphones in the room. So if there is some question, we can begin with in the first row. Thank you.
Hello. A question for the director. When I was watching the film, there was a very natural feel to the film, and I saw that a lot of the scenes, the camera was still and the action was happening in comparison to normal mainstream Bollywood or Punjabi films now. It's mostly where the camera's panning to keep the action moving. Was that intentional, and what was your thinking behind that?
I mean, see, the normal mainstream films are not my points of reference. So it really doesn't matter to me what they do and how they do it. If you say that the camera was static in many of the scenes, but the camera was also moving a lot in many of the scenes. So it's not just that the camera is. So I think both interest me. The fact that you can sit at one point and see an event unfold without the point of view of you or of the camera changing. And also, when the camera becomes more mobile, more animated, and can become a sort of a participant, become a character in a particular shot or a scene. So whatever works for a particular, so I plan with a very free mind that whether I want to, whether the movement of the characters is animated enough, or their exchange is animated enough for the camera not to move, or the camera doesn't need to do anything extra or special for that particular shot or scene. But if I feel that the camera should become a character, become a sort of not just a seer, but a participant in the scene, that's when I try to move the camera. And also the idea of the long take, that so how to. So I've tried long takes both with the static camera and with the long camera. Like this opening shot where where Diya is cutting onions and she has tears in her eyes. So the space is revealed. She's presented. The main character, the mother and daughter, are presented. The space is revealed. So the setting of the film is revealed through a very mobile camera, which reveals you the space. So that's exciting. I think as a filmmaker to be working across, to be flexible, to be free to do what you want. But yes, it's very. I find it very challenging to. I love all kinds of both. And so I'm freely doing that depending on what's needed. I feel at a particular point of time in the film.
Thank you. We had another question in the back row.
Thank you for this beautiful film. I'm sorry, I'm going to ask my question in French, if it's... Oh. I'm sorry. Well, I can try. Non, j'avais justement la même question sur la caméra, en fait, parce que le film a une durée assez longue et d'emblée, j'ai trouvé que justement, vous trouviez un rythme assez intéressant avec un mouvement de caméra lent qui installe paradoxalement un suspense assez intense durant la première histoire. Notamment, cette caméra, elle cache cet homme qui est venu s'abriter dans la cabane, au fond de la cour. On le devine tardivement, sa présence, son physique en tout cas, sa personne. Et en fait, voilà, c'est ce qui m'intéressait, c'était votre manière de mettre en scène sur une longueur assez... sur cette longueur que vous revendiquez pour aller jusqu'au bout de votre œuvre. Le rythme que
we have an issue with the translation.
Maybe
it's cutting.
I wanted to know how you found the rhythm
Now I can hear you.
Oh, sorry.
But
I can resume. How I wanted to know, how did you find the rhythm? Because there are different kinds of rhythm. The camera is slow at the beginning, and the camera is hiding the character also, so it plays a role. And I think it's very very good. I was very impressed by the rhythm you create all the
throughout the film. Yeah.
Thank you.
I mean, it's really interesting that you talk of the rhythm, because for me that's the reason why I'm making films. Because the rhythm is so related to the idea of attention. When we see something and we pay attention to it, and how you pay attention, the quality of attention determines your relationship with what you're watching, be it in real life or be it on screen, be it a painting, be it theater, music. Everything is about attention, and this idea of rhythm is so linked to the idea of the quality of attention you are able to create. So like as she asked about the camera, that if it's static, it's a different quality of attention. If your point of view is constantly moving, it's a different quality of attention. These are like different instruments, in music, and but my approach is very it's very improvised. It's not. I don't go with too much of pre-planning. What I feel about a certain thing. Yes, also the idea of suspense, but also a lot of things emerge during the edit. There's a rhythm of what you have shot, and the actual final rhythm. So you're basically shooting the rhythm. The rhythm you are dealing with is the rhythm of a shot or of a scene. But when you are compiling the whole, the rhythm undergoes some transformation. And that's always the case. But of course, what you have set as the rhythm of a shot which cannot be cut, because I'm not leaving myself with any other possibility but to keep that shot from the beginning to the end. There is no intercut. I'm not going to cut away to something else, or I cannot shorten or tighten the scene. So in a way, I have committed to a certain rhythm while shooting. And I live by that commitment, that's all, and you have to stand by that commitment. But yes, what you can do in when you edit is that remove certain things which you find are unnecessary to the rhythm of the entire length of the film. And frankly telling you, there were more scenes with him, where he's revealed much earlier. But that was, when I was editing, that was bothering me. So we created this whole idea of suspense in the edit. And that idea somehow was not in my mind when I wrote the film or even when I was shooting it. So at every stage, actually, you are kind of, reinterpreting your own approach, but also committing, but also being flexible, So it cannot be completely chaotic, or it cannot be too structured that it becomes so rigid in the edit. So it's very highly improvised. And I think a lot of that comes from Indian music, because our classical music is very improvised, And we have a set of notes, and up to the musician who is singing or playing a particular instrument, that how they improvise that. Unlike Western music, which is notated, which is written, and you have to perform according to a certain script. In Indian music, there is no script. And a performer can, perform for 1 hour without any script. So I think that's inherent in our understanding of music, and I think cinema as an art form like music is very close to, in terms of rhythm, temporality, how it deals with duration and time. So, thank you.
Thank you. I have a question for the actors, so for Harwinder, Diya, and Navjot, because we were speaking about this the structure of the film, of the 3 different parts, and I think in the film we have a lot of encounters on one hand, on the other hand, the absence of characters and the mourning for the missing character. So I wanted to ask you, how did you work on this, and whether you, throughout the process of making the film, whether it's something that you were working together with Gurvinder, or you worked separately?
Is that on? Yeah. Thank you for the question. So, in the film, I don't have many scenes with my husband, who is supposedly the killer, but no, I do. In the when we shot.
They are not
yeah,
in the
yeah,
film.
we do. When
They're not in the film.
Oh, you deleted them from the. Oh my gosh. Okay. Okay, so they're not in the film. I'm only just discovering that. But there was a day when I was told that we're gonna have like we're gonna go back into the past, and he came and we went to the Gurudwara, the Sikh temple, and you do all the family things. You're cooking together, you're making tea, and all of that. And I think for me it made a huge difference to when I had to do those scenes of absence, because I felt his presence. So yeah, I mean, they're not in the film apparently, but we did work in terms of interaction at some point. So yeah, thanks.
Me, we had one reading at Gurvinder house with Harwinder, and with the Meeta ma'am, I don't have any kind of reading. So we just have one reading, and after that, me and Harwinder, we practiced about our character like in 1 or 2 meetings, and then I started working on my character, what Seema would be, how she is different from me, how Seema is different from Diya. So I did read a script, used to read a script, and I used to get a questions, and then I work on that questions, and so this is the way. Then when it was about, we were the final day when we want to shoot our first scene. So the perspective I was having, I like the think about Gurvinder is like he just set his actor free to do what they want to do at first. So I asked what is your perspective regarding the Seema, how you see Seema? So he just said, just do it, whatever you like. So I did it, and then he made some changes which I feel, okay, this could go with my character. So this is how the Seema came out, and I worked on Seema. So yeah.
First of all, thank you so much for this all. And I would like to thank you, Gurvinder, for choosing me for this character. Because when I started my theatre journey in 2011, it's his first film came out, Anne Kodi Da Daan, and I like so much that film. And after that, his so many films, Chauthi Koot, Adh Chanani Raat came out, and I mesmerized with his cinema, how he made films. And parallel, I do theatre during that time. It's a big, it's a dream come true moment for me. And about how I work on character, I got a call from Gurvinder's team, and then we meet, and he narrate a story to me, and he is very narrate in very simple way, and it's a very good good way I feel, because he shoot only he know. At shooting, I feel very well that he only shoot that part, so he want to do. So I.
Yeah, I think what he, is this on? Yeah. What he's trying to say is that I don't shoot too much.
Yeah, yeah,
I don't give
not too much.
I don't shoot the same scene with different angles or different
Yeah.
with different magnifications, like a lot of. So you only get a chance. So if to do what you want in one we can do multiple takes of the same shot, but it's not that the same shot would be taken again from a different angle, or with a different set of people. So what he's saying is that it has to work for that particular shot. There's no flexibility. Also, secondly, I choose my actors thinking that they're eventually going to play themselves. Because I try to look for characters who are the closest to actors. I try to look for actors who are closest to the character I have in mind, so that you don't. I never told anybody that you have to become somebody. Diya, when she came to me and she auditioned, she was Seema for me, and I accept. So actually, Diya becomes Seema for me. So because when you're imagining a character, that person is just imaginary. And you cannot actually find. So you only have an idea of a person, and when you meet a person who think, yeah, that is it. That's what I was perhaps. That she can be my Seema, that he can be that intruder, Balwinder, or she can be the mother of the children. Mr. Zafar, he's never acted in the film, and he plays his father in the film. He's a poet. He's a poet. He first time appears in a film, and he's 60. He was 60 when we were shooting, and he's working with such a senior actor like Naseeruddin Shah, who unfortunately could not come. And a lot of junior actors would become very nervous. Naseeruddin is a giant, colossal actor in Indian cinema. And it was great to work with him. And his presence here would have actually made a lot of difference. But unfortunately, he could not come. And he was so confident working with such a accomplished actor and appearing for the first time in the film. Because I felt his persona completely suited the character of Harjap, who he's playing in the film. And I know his gentleness, his demeanor. I said, yes, you just have to just relax. And I also now hardly do any auditions. I just let them read the dialogues. For me, because the voice, how they read, is a kind of a bass. It's like a bass note. When somebody reads something, is a bass note, and then you know whether you can take it up or down. Like musicians have their bass note. We have a sir in Indian music, the idea of the sir. So when somebody reads, that is their sir, and then you work, how much the pitch can go up or go down, what can they do with their voice, because the voice is the most important. The voice is the soul of a person, I feel, And that's how, when Diya came to me for audition, her first scene in the film is where she's cutting onions and she has tears in her eyes. So I said, here, onions. So I had onions, I said, okay, peel and cut the onions for me. That was her audition.
Thank you. Just one quick last question for Nemesis and Andrei. You recently founded Pavo Films as a co-production company in France dedicated to collaborating with Indian cinema. So I wanted to ask you quickly, how come that your first collaboration was with specifically Gurvinder Singh, and how do you envision the presence of Indian cinema in the European continent?
Well, thank you. Thank you for having us here. It's a big honor, and launching our production company with Gurvinder Singh's movie, it's a huge honor. I've known him for over a decade now, and I discovered his first movie, which was like an emotional and sensitive shock for me. I fell in love with this movie, and I've been following his career since then, and we've been in touch. And so when we were talking with Cosmin about starting our production company, it organically started with Gurvinder, and honestly, it's really I cannot say how happy I am to start this journey with him. And how do we look at Indian cinema in Europe? It's a great question, because I've been working a little as a curator and as a distributor for South Asian cinema for the past decade, and it's not that easy to bring South Asian films and to bring them to France, especially where we are based in Paris. And what I think, I believe, and I hope is that by having more co-productions with India, we will be able to distribute more films on the French and European screens, but also to present like a different facet also of South Asian films. Do you want to add something?
Oh, I think everything has been told. Thank you, Nemesis.
Thank you so much. We don't have more time, unfortunately, but the film is premiering today at the Fevi at 4:45, and after that we'll meet again at the Spazio Cinema, the Forum, and continue talking with the team of Rehmat. Thank you so much.